Welcome back to Good Day Stateline. We are always learning with Sara from Dady Law. Thanks so much for being here tonight.
It's great to be back, Michelle. I'm very excited to talk about some more immigration stuff.
All right, so what are we talking about tonight?
We're going to talk about refugees. So my first question for you, do you have the questions lined up or not?
Up there.
Okay, here's the first question. Myth or fact, refugees and asylum seekers are the same?
Okay, you know how I'm usually good at these because there's a lot in this sentence. Totally, like, I always tell you I'm a great test taker. I read the context clues.
Yeah.
I got nothing. There are no context clues. I have no idea.
So now you gotta take that 50-50 shot.
With myth.
You are correct.
Okay.
That is a myth. Even though we use the words refugee and asylum seeker interchangeably, legally they're very different. Refugees have already been approved to resettle. Refugees have already filed their application, proven that they're going to be persecuted in their home country. Asylum seekers are still in that process. They still need to file their application. It still needs to be processed. They still need to be determined legally that they will be persecuted if they're returned home.
But a lot of people do think that they're the same thing.
That's right. Okay. That's right.
So that's a good thing to know. Okay, I mean, I know we have another question somewhere. There you go.
Myth or fact, there are 13,000 Afghans living at Fort McCoy military base, right up the road in Wisconsin.
That's a lot, so I'm gonna go with myth.
That is a fact.
Okay.
We brought in, currently there are over 50,000 Afghans living at 9 military bases in the United States. Right up the road, we've got 13,000 at Fort McCoy.
And that's new?
That's new. Okay. They came over with the evacuation from Afghanistan last month.
So what does that mean for immigration?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about next. We've got one more myth or fact, and then we'll talk about that.
All right, let's do this one first.
All right. The Afghans evacuated by the U.S. this year, including the ones at Fort McCoy, are all refugees.
I'm going to go with myth just because of the word all.
I'm so proud of you, Michelle. You totally learned. It's true. The Afghans that we evacuated out are not technically refugees because they didn't have applications for asylum or persecution process before we brought them to the United States.
Okay.
Now, many of them who are here are going to be able to apply for asylum and do that process here inside the United States, which is called asylum. If they get approved, then they'll be able to stay in the U.S. permanently. Other ones are not going to qualify for asylum. It's a very high standard. Not everyone qualifies for asylum, but they might be eligible for the special immigrant visa, which is specifically for people who assisted the U.S. military.
Okay.
Other ones might have family members in the U.S. who can petition for them for legal status in the U.S. Still other ones might not have any way to apply for legal status, but we evacuated them out, so we'll probably have them apply for something called humanitarian parole, which allows them to stay. But now we've got 13,000 people up the road from us who are going to have to start filing applications with immigration and try to figure out their status and start resettling in the U.S.
How long does that process take? Is it the same for all of those different applications, or are they different?
It's completely different.
Okay.
It's completely different depending on the application. Some applications can be processed very rapidly. Other ones can take years.
That's a long time.
It is a long time.
To take a year to figure out what's going on with where you're supposed to be. I say in quotes because I think that's what I'm supposed to say, right? Supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
Right? But you know a lot more about this than I do.
Yeah.
And this is probably all something that you could help with, right?
This is. In fact, many immigration attorneys like myself are stepping up to volunteer our time and expertise.
Cool.
To help the Afghans who are here figure out what they're eligible for, what they need to apply for in terms of legal status, and work side by side with nonprofit organizations to get them resettled in the U.S.
Well, it sounds like you have a big project on your hands, Sara. let us know where we can go, if we want to reach out to you, if we need your help for anything.
Absolutely. Dady Law Group at dadylawgroup.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for teaching us another lesson tonight, Sarah.
Thanks, Michelle.
Coming up next, the one and only Kevin James is popping in virtually to talk about his return to the stage right here in Rockford at the Coronado, and then we're on the phone with our Throwback Thursday winner. We'll be right back.
The preceding segment was sponsored by Dady Law Group, LLC,